Everyone knows the step over. You've done it, your teammates have done it, even the kid who just learned how to tie his boots is probably spamming it in training. But here's the thing most players don't want to hear. 99% of step over attempts are useless. Not because the move is bad, but because the player behind it has no idea why it works. They're just copying what they saw on YouTube, hoping something sticks. But the defenders, they've seen it all. They've been duped, faked, spun around, and they've learned to stop biting. So why is it that when Cristiano Ronaldo did a step over, elite defenders froze? Why did Robinho, Denilson, or even Vini Jr. make it look like defenders were stuck in slow motion, getting cooked by a single shift of the body? It's not just about speed. It's not even about footwork. The real secret? It's about the rhythm, timing, control, and above all, deception. Because if you can't make the defender believe your lie, the step over might as well be a warm-up jog. And once you understand how the best players weaponize this move, not just to look good, but to strike fear, your entire game is going to change. But first, let's break down exactly why most step over attempts fail, and what you're doing wrong without even realizing it. Most players think the step over is a magic trick. Step over the ball fast enough, and the defender will somehow vanish. But that's not how it works, not even close. Here's what actually happens. You throw out a step over. The defender doesn't move. You panic. You throw another one, still no bite. Now you're stuck. And before you know it, you've either lost the ball or passed it backward like nothing happened. That's because you're treating the step over like a move, not a message. The defenders at any decent level don't watch your feet. They read your rhythm. They feel your intention. If your whole body isn't telling the same lie, if your hips, your eyes, your pace, and your posture aren't all in sync, they don't move. They don't flinch. They just wait for you to mess up. And the moment they realize you're hesitating, they pounce. That's why your step over isn't working. You're dancing, not deceiving. But there was one player who took that same move and turned it into a weapon that defenders genuinely feared. His name is Cristiano Ronaldo. Let's break down exactly how he did it.
Before the trophies, before the headlines, and way before the iconic celebrations, Ronaldo was just a skinny teenager with ridiculous feet and a point to prove. And back then, his weapon of choice was the step over. But here's the difference. Ronaldo didn't just do the move. He built a story around it. Every step over he threw out wasn't random. It had weight. His body leaned one way, his shoulders dipped, his stride slowed, and the moment the defender bought in, even for half a second, boom, he was gone. What made it work wasn't how fast he did it. It was how well he sold it. Because Ronaldo understood something most players still don't. The defender reacts to your intention, not your feet. He made the fake feel so real that defenders had no choice but to commit. And once they committed, they were finished. He didn't spam 6 step overs in a row hoping for space. He gave you 2, maybe 3, but each one felt like a threat. Each one screamed, "I'm going left, try and stop me." And when the defender finally leaned, it was already too late. But what if I told you the real secret behind his step over success wasn't physical at all? It had more to do with psychology than foot speed. Here's the part nobody talks about. The step over isn't a move, it's a mental game. You're not trying to get past the defender, you're trying to make him move first. That's it. Because once he commits, once he shifts his weight, reaches a leg, or even flinches, you win. The problem is most players are rushing. They're doing the step over too early, too fast, or too often, before the defender even reacts. That's not deception, that's desperation. Think of it like chess. You don't throw your queen forward just to hope it lands somewhere good. You wait, you bait, you let your opponent think they've got you, and then, just when they step in, you vanish. That's what elite players do. They don't fight pressure, they invite it. And when the defender finally lunges in, thinking it's time to steal the ball, that's the moment they get split, because the attacker's already gone. One step, one touch, full control. The secret is timing. You want the defender to feel like he's almost got you. That's when he takes the risk. And if your step over is loaded with just enough deception, shoulder drop, hip shift, maybe even a quick glance, he's done. This isn't flair, this is psychological warfare, and you're the one pulling the strings. But if there's one player in the modern game who's turned this mental mastery into an art form, it's Vinícius Jr. And what he does with step overs, it's a different level entirely.
Vinícius Jr. doesn't do 5 step overs in a row. He doesn't need to, because he's mastered something far more dangerous: tempo control. Watch him closely, especially in one-on-one situations. He slows the game down to walking pace, literally walks toward the defender. And in that silence, in that hesitation, the defender starts guessing. That's when he strikes. One step over, clean, sharp, but it's disguised inside a rhythm break. The defender expects slow and gets slapped with sudden speed. Vinny's genius isn't in how many step overs he throws, it's how unpredictably he moves between silence and chaos. He'll lull you, freeze you, hypnotize you, and then blow past you like a glitch in the system. This isn't just street flair, it's cold, calculated manipulation. He's not trying to look cool, he's trying to scramble the defender's decision making, force them into reacting a split second too late. And in today's football, that split second, it's everything. because defenders are trained to anticipate, to watch the hips. But when Vinny shifts pace, posture, and intention all at once, their internal clock breaks. They hesitate, and that hesitation is all he needs. But here's the thing. None of that works unless your body is telling the right story. Because in football, defenders aren't watching your feet, they're watching your frame. Let's break down the mechanics behind the perfect step over. If you think defenders are watching your feet, you're already cooked. Trained defenders don't get faked out by flashy steps. They lock onto your hips, your shoulders, and the angle of your spine. That's where real movement starts. And if your step over doesn't shift those three things, it's dead on arrival. The secret to a believable step over isn't how fast your foot moves over the ball. It's how completely you can sell the illusion of movement. You're not just trying to touch the ball, you're trying to shift the defender's eyes. That means your eyes need to glance, your shoulders need to drop, your knee needs to bend. Your whole frame needs to whisper the wrong direction. Players like Neymar were masters of this. He'd tilt his head, drop a shoulder, bend at the waist, and make it look like he was about to sprint one way. Then, with one slick step over, he'd twist out in the opposite direction like he was never there. That's not footwork, that's body control. And it's something almost no one trains. You need to treat your upper body like part of the move, not just your legs. Because if your torso isn't lying, your feet never stood a chance. Even more powerful, eye-level deception. Look at the defender's feet, then glance up at the space you're not going to. That tiny glance might be all it takes to trigger their body into shifting the wrong way. This is what separates YouTube dribblers from game breakers. One's trying to show off, the other's trying to destroy you. But selling the fake is only half the battle. If you don't train your body to time it under real pressure, it'll fall apart when it matters most. And how do you actually train stepovers so they become automatic? Here's where most players go wrong. They think if they just spam stepover drills in an open space, they'll master it. But football isn't clean, it's chaotic. And if your stepover only works in perfect conditions, it won't survive the real game. The goal isn't repetition, it's reaction. You have to train your stepover in chaotic, uncomfortable environments, where space is tight, pressure is real, and decisions happen in split seconds. Start with delayed timing drills. Set up cones or markers, but don't just fly through them. Walk, pause, then explode. The goal is to train your ability to break rhythm, to condition your body to hit the move after the defender makes the first move in your mind. Next, try mirror drills, no ball. Stand in front of a mirror or a partner and practice full body deception. Drop your shoulder, shift your hips, watch how real your fake looks without even touching the ball. If it doesn't fool you, it won't fool anyone else. And then comes the chaos. Create a small 1v1 box. Add pressure. Force yourself to beat a defender with one move and no reset. That pressure will either break you or sharpen your instincts. Bonus drill: dribble a tennis ball around furniture, barefoot. Sounds weird, but it forces tight control, fast adjustments, and intense foot-to-mind connection. And that's where real confidence comes from. Because when your stepover becomes a reflex, not a thought, that's when it becomes a weapon. But there's still one final shift you have to make. Because being good at the stepover isn't enough. You have to use it for the right reasons and in the right moments. And that's what separates flash from fear. Most players chase highlights. They want to look good, go viral, rack up likes with a 6-step stepover combo that ends in a pass backward. But the real ones, the ones defenders fear, they don't care about flash. They care about impact. And here's the cold truth. A flashy move that doesn't create space is worthless. But a single, sharp stepover that destroys a defender's balance, that changes the game. You have to ask yourself, are you trying to entertain or dominate? Because when you use a stepover with purpose, to break a line, to freeze a defender, to open space where there was none, now you're dangerous. Now you're unpredictable. Now you're someone coaches trust and defenders hesitate against. Players like Mahrez, Mbappe, and even young Lamine Yamal lose the ball often. They take risks, but they take them in the right places, in the final third, in moments that matter. And when their stepover works, they change the entire tempo of the match. That's the shift. Stop using the move for attention. Start using it for damage. So how do you go from looking like you're trying too hard to being the player everyone's afraid to press? It starts with mindset and ends with preparation. The difference between getting clamped on the wing and leaving your marker frozen usually comes down to what you trained when no one was watching. The stepover isn't about flash, it's about fear. It's about planting doubt in the defender's head before you even touch the ball. If your stepover looks good but doesn't create space, it's noise. If it makes the defender hesitate, even for half a second, it's lethal. So stop training to look technical. Train to become unreadable. Slow down, read the body, change rhythm, and when it's time to strike, make it count. Because the most dangerous players don't just use stepover chains to look flashy, they use a single, sharp one to break the game open. So train sharp, train deceptive, and next time you step on the pitch, make defenders regret ever stepping up.